Okay, so is anybody doing shift shop here?
There's inside, please.
I know Elaine is. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay, that's fine. But you will eventually, because all coaches, I feel, should be doing programs as like eventually. Not that you have to do it right away, but I think it's good that you try every program. Meg, I'm laughing at Megan right now because, of course, we don't disagree about this. We just disagree on timing, maybe. Or no, not even that. I think we should all participate, or at least feel out each program so you're able to kind of, especially our new ones. I don't mean that you need to go back and do like P90X and all that stuff, but I am going to just be silent for 1 second. I just have to change networks. Sorry, guys.
Okay, you can go lay on the couch.
Okay, I'm back. Can you hear me again? Yeah, okay. So with the shift shop, one thing that I've been seeing with some of my coaches is they're kind of saying, this is just perfect. You can use the fixed eating plan and the workouts are just different. And that is like so far from the truth. The eating plan is not the same as the fix at all. What they've done with this eating plan is incorporated the containers in, just because most of us have the containers and it's part of our challenge pack sort of system. So they've made it work with containers, but it's definitely not the fix eating plan. The fixed eating plan is a lifestyle. It's something that you can do forever and ever and ever. And I mean, that's really what we encourage. When I have someone start with the 21-day fix, I do not want them to think about this as a 21-day fix. This is like a new lifestyle that you're going to be able to do forever and ever. I've used that eating plan for, oh my gosh, 3.5 years now, and I have no reason to ever stop. The shift shop is a very specific eating plan to get you rapid results. It is not something that you will do for longer than maybe 2 rounds. I think that's kind of where they're saying, like, do it for 2 rounds and then go back to the 21-day fix, your maintenance plan. This isn't something that you would continue forever. The reason for that is it is taking away some of those food groups. So for example, something that I would have every day and have had every day for like years is oatmeal. So none of those grains, breads, crackers, all that kind of stuff, none of that is on that eating plan. However, you are still allowed dairy, which is kind of interesting because a lot of those sort of eating plans that take that kind of stuff away take dairy away as well, but you are allowed to have dairy on this one, which is nice because that's the thing that I probably miss the most is Greek yogurt when they take it away. So what happens is you start the eating plan at a certain amount of containers, and then some food groups lessen and some food groups increase as you get to week 2, and then that happens again in week 3. So for example, for myself, week 1 was last week, and I was allowed to have 2 carbs, so like 2 yellow containers, but they had to be beans, edamame, sweet potato, white potato. There was a few other things. There was no quinoa, no rice, no breads, nothing like that. So at first I was really like, this is just going to suck ass, like big time. But I have loved it. I have not had potato in years, and I feel a lot better. Like, I'm wondering if some of the stuff I have been eating has not been great for my stomach. So it's been awesome. It's been nice to change things up. And that's something that I need people to be aware of. If you are at a plateau, you're not seeing results, you need to change something. You need to kind of shock your system again. And something like this is really good to do that with. You know, it's very safe. I've had a lot of people ask me, oh, well, you're taking away all your carbs. You're going to gain weight as soon as you stop this program. I think the big misconception with people is fruit and vegetables are carbs. Okay, so they are still carbs. And the coolest thing in my eyes, because I love to eat, is that I can eat vegetables all the time on this. And like, you can have as many vegetables as you want. So, and you get fruit. Your fruit will lessen as the weeks progress, like into the 3rd week, but you still are always allowed fruit. So you're still getting lots of carbs. You're getting the right amount of carbs that you need to just to sustain yourself for the exercise programs and whatever. So as your carbs decrease, your fat and your protein increase. So you're getting into that real fat burning zone. And I think that's why the results are pretty incredible. Like I've lost 6 pounds, which it sounds like a lot, but like 4 of that was New Orleans fluff. Like I was away and ate differently than I would have and drank. I was actually really quite good in New Orleans because I had just come off the extreme plan. But I had lots of wine and stuff like that. So there would have been lots of extra stuff going on there. But what I love about it is that I've dropped that. Even if I took away like 3 pounds, let's say 3 pounds of it is for real. I've done that and still ate a lot. Like you really do get to eat quite a bit because you can have vegetables anytime. You're still getting your fats. So I'm still having like my normal avocado or hummus or nuts and my sunflower seeds and a lot of the exact same things that I always have, my Greek yogurt and peanut butter and all that stuff. It's just the carbs that are a little bit different, it kind of got me out of my comfort zone, which I enjoyed. I had beans for the first time. Like I added them to my cracked slaw that I make and I added them to a salad and it changed it up, which I think is so good for your body. And I think that's why I'm feeling a little bit better. Like everything just seems to be working better right now, which I think is really good. But I think there's been some people that look at the plan and think, oh, it's kind of one of those fad diets. It's taking away so much. That's why they're losing weight. And I actually feel way more satisfied as in food intake than I do on the fix for some reason. And I think it's because those carbs that they're making you pick are maybe a little bit more filling or sustainable. I'm not really sure, but I feel a little bit different on this plan. Would you say that, Elaine? What are you thinking about the food plan?
Yeah, at first it was really hard to stick to, just, swapping out. Actually, the very first day I had oatmeal. Like I kind of skimmed through it really, really quick. And then I didn't even realize, like, I didn't read it properly, obviously. And I think I posted it and somebody was like, oh, I don't think you can have oatmeal on it. I was like, so I reread it and I was like, oh my God, I can't have oatmeal. But I found it kind of hard to cut out oatmeal because I was so used to having it. And then of course I went to a wedding on the weekend and it was a family wedding and I did have some drinks and stuff. So I'm kind of not really that committed to the nutrition right now. Yeah. Cause I did have drinks on the weekend. So that's probably going to alter my results.
It's your sister's wedding. You're allowed. You don't have to always be totally on top of it. But I did the same thing. I really didn't look at the eating plan. I just figured, oh, it's the same as all the other eating plans I've done for the last 3 years. And then the last night, because Terry's doing it with me, and it's been a total eye opener for him because he has not been eating hardly anything. And I've been telling him he's downstairs, so here I am talking about him, but I've been telling him so much, like, you can't just survive off of a couple Shakeologies every day and then supper. Like, you have to eat to lose weight. And I mean, he's a big guy. He's 6'1", and like, he's on plan D. Like, that is an insane amount of food. And he's lost, the last time he told me, I think he had lost 7. So like, that's crazy to be, I mean, even for him to just see it. And I think I posted that little video in our challenge group today that we went and got him like popsicle sticks at the dollar store. So he could literally like take it from one container to another when he's finished the food, and he can see how much food you really have to eat. Like, we got the, you know how they have at the craft store, all the colored popsicle sticks, and then we cut up a straw for the teaspoons. And even when I got them all in the bucket, I'm like, oh my God. And for him, he's like, it's almost not even enjoyable right now because it's like a job trying to figure out how you're going to fit it all in. And it is like, it's a big change for people at first. And it's been a good good thing for me to live with someone doing it for the first time, because it makes me realize, sometimes I'm a little bit new challengers. I'm like, what don't you get? But, it is a big change for some people, right? Like if they've probably been eating too many calories, but it's just been in like one McDonald's meal at the end of the day, and they've blown everything. They don't feel like they're eating anything, right? Except one big fatty junky meal that takes all their calories up. Now they can have all this food that even is less calories than that one big meal. So it's been a good thing for us to do together, for me to help him, because I really see like, wow. Because I've had several women, like even in Plan E for the 21-day fix, and like when they message me and say that's a lot of food, I'm always like, oh my God, I just wish I could have more food. Like, you're so lucky. But it kind of becomes, you have to figure out little tricks of getting it all in. So
has he been able to get it all in, Michelle?
No, he's like really trying. The last couple of days, he's been a lot better. Like, honestly, that container thing, as cheesy as that is, like I just bought this little container that has 2 divisions in it and those popsicle sticks. And that has made all the difference, because he can literally it was too hard with the book. Like, it was too confusing. He just was missing it and then trying to remember. And so he's just said he has a green and a yellow that he probably won't get in tonight. He's done good though. Like, he's still like on week 2, he still has 4 yellows, 7 greens, like 6 reds. Like, it's crazy. 2 blues. It's a lot of food. 7 teaspoons. Like, I mean, some days I think that'd just be awesome. A big heaping tablespoon of peanut butter. And he hates vegetables. He's a guy, right? Hates vegetables. Like, it's hard to, so I'm saying the scoops of the greens, I'm just saying count that as a green. Like, go for it. Like, put a couple of those and he'll put a cup of spinach in his shake. So there he gets 3 out of the way, because he's not going to, on Saturday night, no shit. He sat on the couch with 2 green containers of celery and a tablespoon of peanut butter. And it took him, I swear, like 2 hours to get through the celery. It's very funny. Anyways, I'm not teaching you anything here. I'm just telling you my silly life stories. So I guess my point of the whole thing is, if you're going to do the shift shop, you have to be open for change. You have to know that it's not like you're going to get great results in that first 3 weeks and potentially in the next, but you can't just keep on doing that kind of plan. You need to go back to the fix. It was never intended, this program was never intended to be a lifestyle. I think that's what we need to clarify, is Shift Shop is a rapid results, get you past a plateau or get you started or something new and different, but it's not a lifestyle nutrition plan. Make sense? Cool. Okay, Shakeology guru, you can take over.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions first about Shakeology? Like, I know a few of us have been drinking it for quite a while, but does anybody have like questions at all, or like, just anything, like, are you loving it? Are you not loving it, or anything before I get started? No? Okay. I always like doing these calls because I just think it's super important that we all, Camille, is Matthew hiding behind the computer again? That's so funny. I think it's really important that we all understand why we're drinking it, right? Like, I know for me in the beginning, I just knew it was really good for me, so I drank it. And it took me like a long time before I even understood why I was drinking it and what it was doing for me. So I think the sooner that everybody can sort of get a good understanding of why it's so beneficial for our health and for this journey, the better, because, it's not cheap. Like, I'm never going to try and pretend that it's a cheap shake and, of course everybody can afford it, because it is something that I consider an investment in my health. And I think that everybody should sort of look at it that way, as an investment. We all make different types of investments in our life. And I think that we should look at Shakeology as one of them for sure. When you do break it down, it ends up being about $5 a day, which to me isn't that expensive when you look at it that way, right? Like we spend, if you look at it in a week, we spend more than that probably on things that are not benefiting us whatsoever, right? We spend money all the time on things that are not moving us in a better direction, that are not benefiting us, that are not doing anything for us, and we don't bat an eye. But then something like Shakeology, sometimes people are like, I don't know if I really need that. Well, you do need it. Every single person needs Shakeology in their life. I do 100% believe that. So when I got started with Shakeology, it was for a completely different reason than Michelle, for instance. I was not looking for anything to do with weight loss. For me, it was because I was not eating enough. At that time, I had 3 little kids who were like 3 and under, and I was just run ragged pretty much. I was on my own. My husband was, working on the pipeline out west. So I was a single mom essentially, and I was not sleeping. I was not eating hardly anything except for coffee, like endless amounts of coffee and the crusts of grilled cheese and just, nothing substantial. And then I would have a big dinner because I was starving. And then I would reward myself with a huge bowl of ice cream. Like, I'm not kidding you, every single night. Every single night without fail for years, I had ice cream because it just became a habit like anything else can become. And that was just sort of my day. And that's what my nutrition looked like. So when I saw Michelle talking about Shakeology on social media, I right away, I didn't even ask her what the price was. I didn't even ask her what it was or what it was all about. I just heard from her that it was everything that we needed in a day. And I thought, there's my solution to my problems. It's going to at least, I knew it was important for me to be eating properly, but I just didn't have it in me at that point in my life. So if I could just get it all in a shake, and, as soon as I started drinking it, I loved the convenience of it because I could be outside drinking the shake while running around with the kids. I could drink it in the car. It took me 30 seconds to make, and then I could get back to my kids. So for me, it was just such an easy thing that I needed as a mom. I was not, I didn't change anything with my nutrition at first. I didn't work out, none of that. But because I started drinking Shakeology, I very soon started to feel really good. And it wasn't like one day I woke up, 3 days after I started and I felt like a new woman. No, it was just sort of something that was happening slowly. And I just started to have a little bit more energy, and I found myself just sort of more alert and more just sort of in tune to my body, I guess. And then because I was feeling better, and not that I was sleeping more, but I was feeling more well rested and just a natural energy, I started wanting to put better things into my body. So it just led, like Shakeology really was where my journey started. That led me to want to look into the 21-day fix and the portion control system. And that got me started on workouts. So I was a very gradual person with everything. It started with Shakeology. Then it started with the 21-day fix nutrition program. I didn't even follow the workouts at first. And then I started the workouts. So that's sort of how my journey went. And it all, of course, started with Shakeology. So it's something I've always been very passionate about. And then as I started coaching, I soon realized that when I was talking to people about Shakeology, I really didn't know what to say besides like, oh, you need it. You'll love it. It's amazing. It has everything you need. And that was kind of where my conversation would end, because I really didn't understand more than that. And not that you need to understand more than that, but I think it's really helpful if you do, because it's going to benefit everyone in different ways depending on where you're at in your life. So the majority of us are nutrient deficient. We are. There's no way of getting around that. Where we live in the world, we don't have access to all the nutrients and vitamins that we need. We don't. If we were, yes, I'm using it. If we were to get all of the vitamins and nutrients that we needed from food alone, we would have to eat a diet that had about 24,000 calories in a day. So we're never going to do that. We're never going to get all that we need from food alone. So of course, I've never intended to become one of those people who drinks a shake. Like, I turned my head at that kind of stuff and supplements and whatnot. But the more you start thinking about it, if you actually want to give your body what it needs, you have to kind of find some outside sources, because the food that we find in our grocery stores just isn't cutting it anymore. And because, you know, we stop at drive-through windows and we eat pizza and we have burgers and we eat ice cream. So we need a little bit of help in the nutrition department. So if you are feeling, if you're wondering what being nutrient deficient looks like, well, it's probably what you were maybe feeling before you started this journey. You were feeling lethargic. You felt just sort of really sluggish. Your mood was off. Your digestive system was way off. You just didn't really have a mental clarity. You couldn't focus very well. You maybe had some skin issues. Your hair was really dry. So there are like so many symptoms of being nutrient deficient. Those are just some of the ones that I know I was feeling for myself. It's really hard to stick to something. If you've ever tried to eat healthy before, or if you've ever tried, just to watch your portions, or start a new program before doing this, you probably started and then stopped and you failed. And that is what most people end up doing, right? You look around, how many fit people do you see? Not a lot, right? Because it's tough. It's tough to stick to healthy eating. And the reason why is because we're nutrient deficient. And when you start cutting back on calories, which is what you have to do in order to lose weight, you have to eat less food. So you do that, and then you're getting even less nutrients because you're eating less food. And everyone starts to cut out foods that maybe they shouldn't be cutting out, right? Like, you start cutting out all your carbs because you don't think you should have carbs anymore. And you just start cutting out too much food because you want to lose weight. So now you've cut out even more nutrients than you were ever getting, and you start to feel really, really crummy. So usually about 2 weeks into, your healthy eating or your new diet that you're doing, you end up just binge eating because you just feel so crummy, and you're tired, and of course you have cravings, which is another huge symptom of being nutrient deficient. So what Shakeology does, it gives you everything you need so that you never have to feel that sort of low when you're starting something like the 21-day fix or whatever program you're doing. But when you start to eat healthy and you're drinking Shakeology, you're just getting everything that you need. And that is why we've been able to make this a lifestyle. That's why after, I've been drinking Shakeology now for 3 years and following sort of healthy eating and working out for about 2.5. That's why I've been able to do this, because I'm fueling my body properly. And everyone's always like, how do you manage to get up so early? And, and you're energetic and you feel so good and you're so happy. Well, it's Shakeology. When you actually give your body what it needs, you start to function the way we are intended to. We're not supposed to be walking around feeling like crummy and sluggish and like zombies and pooping once a week. Like, that's not the way we're supposed to work at all, right? Think of kids. Like, think of how energetic and like happy-go-lucky kids are, and think of how kids' digestive systems work, right? That's because they haven't screwed anything up yet. They're just getting what they need, and they haven't done anything to like wreck the insides of their bodies yet the way we have. So that's why Shakeology is just so important, so that we can feel so good, so that we continue to stick to this. And without Shakeology, it makes it really hard to stick with it. And I see it so often with my challengers who, after a month or two, stop taking Shakeology because they say it's too expensive and they don't really need it. And then when I'm talking to them down the road, they're right back to where they were. They gained all their weight back and they're not sticking to anything and they're just feeling really lousy and they got nothing out of it. So if Shakeology means that I'm going to stick to my goals and I'm going to live a healthier life, then yeah, I'm going to 100% spend $5 a day. For me, it is about being healthy, and Shakeology is disease prevention, 100%. It is going to keep you healthy as you enter a phase in your life where, as we age, of course, things are going to start to happen to us. I'm a nurse and I see it every single day. Even people my age coming in with, a stroke, for instance, that could have been prevented had they taken better care of themselves, had they taken control of their cholesterol, or they didn't let themselves get to be a diabetic, or they kept their weight in check. And Shakeology helps us do that. So Shakeology, actually, the superfoods in Shakeology help to decrease internal inflammation. And basically, every chronic disease out there is caused by internal inflammation. So think about things like heart disease, colitis, IBS, Alzheimer's, some forms of cancers, diabetes, and even things like eczema, migraines, any type of chronic pain like fibromyalgia. The superfoods in Shakeology, they decrease the inflammation in your body. And all of those things are triggered from inflammation. So think about it. If we can lower our internal inflammation, we can essentially prevent some of those things from happening to us. And if they already are happening to us, like if you are someone who suffers from migraines or eczema, or like you're a diabetic or you have high cholesterol, the superfoods in Shakeology can help to lessen the effects that you feel from those things. It's not going to necessarily cure your cancer, but it can help some of the things that are going on in your body. It can help your heart disease. It can help you become, not needing to take insulin if you are a type 2 diabetic. So there are just so many amazing things that those superfoods do. Another great thing is with your digestive system. So many women, I think like 80% of women, suffer from some form of problems with their digestive system. So Shakeology is just packed full of prebiotics and probiotics. And what those prebiotics and probiotics do is they move through your digestive system and they just sort of cleanse it very, very gently. It's not like this, very aggressive cleanse. It's very, very gentle. And if you're drinking Shakeology every day, and if you're drinking Shakeology, drink it every day. It's definitely a progressive product. So it's almost like if you take a blood pressure medication, you need to take that medication every single day for it to have an effect. You can't just take it here and there and expect your blood pressure to be lowered. Shakeology is the same thing. You need to be taking it every single day because the side effects of Shakeology aren't going to come within the first 3 days. It can take even a couple months for you to really start to feel the effects of Shakeology. So having it every single day is very, very important. So what it does is it's cleaning out your digestive tract, because we have just like not treated our bodies very well. Even if you are someone who is very health conscious, the insides of your digestive tract are probably sort of clogged and things just don't move through the way they should. There's just so much junk on the inside. So what Shakeology does is it just cleanses that path and just smooths everything out and keeps things moving really, really well in the way that things should move. And when your digestive tract is clean, you can start to absorb the nutrients from your food and from Shakeology. because that's also a reason why people feel so crummy, is because the food that people are eating, even if it is healthy, it's just going right through them. There's no way for that food to start the nutrients to absorb into the body, because their digestive system is just so awful looking on the inside. So Shakeology just cleans things out and keeps things moving the way that they should. Yeah, that was kind of all my notes. It's still a whole food. I think a lot of people get thrown off by the whole shake thing. And I hear a lot of people say, well, I just want to stick to eating foods. I don't really want to have a shake. But what the creators of Shakeology did is they went around the world and they hand selected 70 different superfoods that they wanted in this shake. And they literally found 70 superfoods, brought them back to the US and dried them. And that is Shakeology. So there's nothing added. It is still considered a whole food. There's no artificial ingredients. There's no artificial sweeteners. There's nothing artificial in it at all. It is as pure can be. And it's actually manufactured in a lab, not a factory, which the majority of any shake you'll find on the market is just made in a factory. So it's definitely different than anything you will find on the market. It can't even be compared to another type of shake. It is a high quality shake. And hopefully by the information I've sort of shared with you, you can understand why it is the price it is. It's a high quality shake. Any other shake that you're finding on the market that is cheap, like something at Costco that you can get a big bucket for $40, it is just filled with a bunch of fillers. That's how they're able to make it so cheap. And Shakeology is not a protein shake. It is not a protein shake. We have a protein shake available through Beachbody. Shakeology is not a protein shake. So I talk to so many women every single day who are drinking a protein shake and they don't even know why they're drinking one. And the whole purpose of a protein shake is to repair muscle damage from a really intense workout. So something like Body Beast or Shift Shop, that's when you would consider taking a protein shake, not just to like have for breakfast or to have in the afternoon. That's a protein shake isn't doing anything for you any other time of the day except right after a hard workout. And a lot of the times the protein shake is filled with just a lot of extra calories, unhealthy ingredients. We're not protein deficient. We're not at all. We get enough protein in our diet because of where we live. We're not protein deficient, but we are nutrient deficient. And that is why everybody really does need Shakeology. It's not just for people who are working out, it's for everybody. And that's why, you know, my mom drinks it now. She doesn't work out or eat healthy. Like she still eats hot dogs and Diet Pepsi on a daily basis, but she also drinks Shakeology now. So that's why my husband drinks it, my kids. Like it's something that everybody truly does need and should be drinking. Do you guys have questions at all? Yeah.
So while we've been talking, I posted about my free group tonight. And this woman who's friends with my mother says, I'm in, but I can't do shakes. I don't do shakes. And she says, I have to eat real food. What'd she say? She said, I have to eat crunchy at every meal. I need to crunch. So I think she thinks that it's like a Slim Fast or some, you know, like she has to use it as a meal replacement. But sounds like I just need to give her some more like education that it doesn't have to be an actual meal replacement. I think these people think that we're like not eating, but we're definitely eating. So do you have any advice for me as far as talking with her or?
Yeah, just definitely talk to her more about what her nutrition really does look like, because there's going to be gaps in her nutrition. There's gaps in everybody's nutrition. And that's what Shakeology is intended for, is to fill in those nutritional gaps we all have.
Okay.
So it's not about necessarily replacing something, because it wasn't for me. It wasn't like I wanted, to replace my breakfast with Shakeology. It was, I just knew I needed those nutrients and I needed that healthy thing in my life.
Right. Okay. And then one more thing. I have a girl she had purchased Beachbody On Demand, the free trial, and she's breastfeeding. She has a new baby, and she was hesitating to sign up with the challenge pack because she was worried about breastfeeding, drinking Shakeology. And I know you did a really great post about that. Do you suggest that people tag, if I were to tag her in that, or how do I get her that? How do I show her that?
Yeah, just tag her in that. That's fine. Yeah.
Tag it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And Shakeology is so great for, of course, talk to your doctor 100%, but it is so great for expecting moms and breastfeeding moms, providing that everything, they're not on any other medication that they need to take. But Shakeology has some lactinogens in it, which is some of the superfoods, and that can actually increase your milk supply. And it's just so good for your milk supply, Shakeology. So I think that the best time of your life to be drinking Shakeology is actually when you're expecting and breastfeeding, because that is the most important time of your life where you're needing those, like you're feeding a human. So yeah.
Right. And I would feel the only reason why I don't feel as comfortable talking with her about it, I wanted to share your post, is because I haven't been yes, I've been breastfeeding, but I haven't been as diligent, and my journey with it hasn't been as successful as yours was. So I wanted to share kind of your side, since I haven't really made it as big of a priority as I probably need to. So yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Just to make you feel better, Camille, I've never had a child. I've never breastfed. And I share Megan, I just have Megan's post there because my little girl's adopted, so I couldn't have children myself. So, I talk to moms all the time, right? And I get that question. So I just have Megan's post copy and pasted, and I just say, this is from my really good friend who has 4 children. She's a nurse. I can't tell you what it's like. So here's someone that I know can. So that's how I share that all the time with people, because I don't have that experience. So I can't really say one word about it. So.
Does anybody have any questions at all about Shakeology or anything? No? Okay. Michelle, anything to add?
No, not really. I could go on and tell you about how lame I was about Shakeology. I started Shakeology because I thought it would make me skinny. That is the honest to God truth. And it wasn't until I realized it wasn't going to make me skinny, because it didn't. And that's something that I'm pretty blunt about with people, is just because you start drinking, please don't buy this if you think this is all you have to do to lose weight, because it's not going to happen. In fact, I have successfully gained weight and drank Shakeology. So that's not what it is. So you have to realize that and really explain to people, or know for yourself, what you're doing for your body is totally different than sort of the weight loss journey. It's a separate thing. It's us helping you with your nutrition, like Megan just explained. And as I went on to use the product, all of a sudden my skin cleared. I have PCOS, so one of those side effects is acneic skin. So all of a sudden, within about 4 months, I had gone from very acneic prone skin to having clear skin. My headaches were gone. There was all of these things that started changing, and I realized, the only thing that I've really changed here is I've added this into my diet. It had nothing to do with weight loss, but it had everything to do with I'm the same as Megan. I'm up at 5 in the morning and still up at 12 at night. And I mean, I'm functioning just fine that way. And it's because of all these nutrients that I've added to my life for the last 3 years that I've been able to do that. So it's important that you realize what you're giving your body. Like it is worth it. I would pay more for it. I would never give it up now. There's just no way. And if you really break it down, I don't have to buy any vitamins anymore. I don't have to I use it as my snack. So I'm a chewer. So I was laughing when you said that, Camille, because I love to chew. In fact, I find ways to chew Shakeology because I really like to chew. So I don't use it as a meal. I could never replace my lunch with it. It just would drive me insane. So I use it as my afternoon snack. So it replaces those groceries. It replaces vitamins and all that crap I was buying. When I moved, I had this whole basket of old like calcium, fish oil, vitamin D, vitamin C, like all this crap I'd bought over the years. I don't buy any of that anymore. So really, I think I actually save money. For people that are buying junk, like my husband, when he started Shakeology, every lunch he was going to Tim Hortons or the corner diner or whatever. So he was spending $10 for sure. And he switched out, had Shakeology. That's all he switched in his whole day. Like he ate chips at night, like he still ate stuff and didn't exercise. And he lost 15 pounds in 6 weeks. So just making that change. It's not that Shakeology made him lose weight. It's that he replaced something bad, negative, and that helped him in his weight loss journey. So, but I don't have any real great like informational facts. Mine is just like my personal story with it. And it's something that I won't give up. I mean, my whole family drinks it. My mom, my dad did. My dad passed away at Christmas, but he had stage 4 lung cancer. And I believe wholeheartedly that he was here for a lot longer because of Shakeology. He had it twice a day. Sometimes that's all he could get down. All of his doctors, oncologists, he had the best surgeons in the country, said, keep drinking it. We can't believe you're still here. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And, he certainly lost his battle, which wasn't surprising. Shakeology is not going to cure cancer, but it kept him strong so he could fight for a lot longer. So I've just seen way too many good things to ever not use the product.
And that's obviously because it does, like it strengthens your immunity like crazy. Like your immune system will start to work so much better from drinking Shakeology every day. And that's probably what happened with your dad. His immune system was just like, because when you have cancer, your immune system is shot. But because he was drinking it, it would have just been building up again. And that, like, I know for me, I haven't been sick since before I had my baby. Like, and I have 4 kids. Like, they're so gross and germy. And I'm never sick. And it's just crazy to me what it's doing for your inside. Like someone said something about like, you can spend all this money on skincare and to get the best creams and toners for your skin, or you could actually improve the quality of your skin from the inside out. Why wouldn't you do that instead of smothering all this stuff on you to help the outside? Just work on it from the inside out. And I would much rather do that. So
that's so true. I've never thought of that actually, because people will often say, like 4 years ago, no one would say I looked okay without makeup. Like, well, I had pimples everywhere. And now people will say like, your skin is glowing. You always look so, fresh and bright. And I'm thinking, oh my God, like I haven't worn makeup in 10 days. Like, what are you looking at here? But I think there's a different, like there's a clarity to your skin. And I mean, we could go on and on. It's kind of actually pointless because obviously Megan and I love it. We wouldn't be doing what we do if we didn't. But we do like to make sure that you guys know what's in there and that you can, as coaches, I think everyone on here now is a coach. I mean, you can share that with people as well. And it like Megan said, it's getting comfortable with some knowledge. You do not need to know as much as Megan does. In fact, don't worry about that. If you have a specific question, I think we're so lucky to have her on our team that we can go to her and ask her. But you don't have to know all those crazy terms. Just know a few things that it's done for you. So I do know a few ingredient names that have helped me with cravings. And, it's this in there that helps me with this, or this is what I think helped my dad, or whatever. I know a few things that I can kind of rhyme off, but you don't have to know everything. Megan's a nurse, so it's interesting to her. It is not interesting to me, right? I just want to know that it works and that I like it and that I don't have pimples anymore. Like, that's all I care. So don't feel pressure.
Yeah. And when you know about it, then like I have never felt like I am trying to convince anyone to stay on Shakeology. Like for me, and even doing this call, and hopefully there's some people that watch the recording that are in our challenge group, but it's never about like, oh, keep on it. Don't cancel it because I want the money. Like it has nothing to do with like a ploy to get people to keep drinking it. It's because like we genuinely are so passionate about it. Whether I was going to make a commission from it or not, I'm just so passionate about it and what it's done. But because I've learned to understand a little bit about it, and that's when it makes it so much easier to talk to people about it and to share about it. Because if you don't know anything about it, it's hard to talk about it without kind of being like you're just trying to sell someone something, right? So, yeah. All right, any questions? All right, well, good night, everybody.
Good night. Bye, guys.